What's the word? What's the word? What's the word, y'all? We have a great show for you tonight. I'm super excited about this. We got Ralph Tresvant in. It's going down. You know what I'm saying? Let me go ahead and get my little pin in. But it's going to be a great show. I hope everybody enjoyed their weekend. It's a little weird, but we deal with the holidays with what we're doing. 2020 has been a crazy one. So it's definitely taking the loose too. But I hope everybody was safe. I also got to give a shout out to my homie Mad Head. He was unfortunately killed last night, and I don't want to start it off on a sour note, if you will. But I definitely got to give a big shout out to my homie Mad Head. He unfortunately passed last night, so show's dedicated to him. Again, I appreciate everybody tuning in for sure. Again, we got a great show for you tonight. Ralph has new music, new single out with Johnny Gill. And, if you haven't heard it, as soon as we done with this, definitely go listen to it. And it's good to, it's good to hear music like this back. He following up. He was actually on the single with Johnny Gill last year. So they kind of switch positions in that. So we're going to get in the single. He's also working on the album. And it's 2020. And, that's kind of like what we've been discussing a lot around here is in 2020, everything's changed. We've learned a lot about ourselves. And one thing that about music is music heals. I mean, it really does. Like, I don't know where I'd be without music. I mean, that's just a fact. So when you have people, that make music as influential as our special guest, it definitely, it heals the soul, if you will. So we're definitely gonna get into that. And he's one of the best to ever do it. But one thing I want to dive into as well is and we talk about on the show a lot, but why we don't see groups anymore, and whether it's a rap group, R&B group, or whatever, you don't see it. You really don't see it. So we're gonna dive into that, and without further ado, I think we got our guest on. Oops. See here. Let's get him on here. Boom. And I appreciate everybody tuning in. This is going to be a great show. A lot of in-depth. And let's get our special guest here. Here we go. And here we are. What's the Word podcast with the legend himself. How you doing, my friend?
How you feeling? I'm good, baby.
Yeah, real good. Appreciate you joining us. Man, just an honor. And as I was discussing before you go on, this 2020 has been crazy. So
yeah.
It's so good to hear music and what we're discussing, music that heals and feel good music. So
yeah, man.
First and foremost, we salute you for the new single, obviously. I mean, it is unbelievable.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you for having me, man.
Yeah, definitely. First of all, how is everything for you in 2020 with everything going on the way it is?
Well, I've been healthy so far. Most of my
Bless
family's been able to escape it. I had one uncle, my Uncle Richard, rest in heaven, man, that he got caught up with the COVID, but everybody else so far has been holding on tight. We good, man. So I appreciate the look. How about yourself, man? You holding on?
Yeah, I stay pretty busy. So it's unfortunate what's going on, but I'm blessed too. My family and I, we kind of do the same thing. I go to the studio and I do this. So, we hadn't changed, our schedule hadn't changed that much. So we're very blessed. We're very blessed.
Good to hear that, man. Glad to hear that, bro.
So first and foremost, we'll talk about the new single. How did it feel? 2020, new music. And obviously with Johnny Gill, I mean, your brother pretty much.
It's definitely, my brother. It feels phenomenal, man. You know, the reaction has been incredible. Um, we're charting. People are talking about it positively. And in a time, like you said, where it's really hard to put this type of music out, it's beautiful to feel people accepting it and rocking with me, man. You know, it's one of those things that's just a testament to me and my group throughout the years being able to put out the type of music we enjoy putting out, that we feel like represents us and that, helps people feel better when they hear it. So at the end of the day, it just feels good to see everybody embracing it and just watching everything grow slowly, coming back on the scene. You never know. You think you got a hit or you got a record that can make some noise, but the people have spoken, man, and I'm glad that they're rocking with me. It feels good.
Absolutely. Now, how have you stayed consistent, especially with times changing? And I'm not just talking 2020, but just throughout your legacy, if you will. How have you stayed consistent to what you do, and considering how everything has just changed?
I think the thing for the most part, just not giving up, not losing faith, and that you got what it takes to be a part of what's going on in any given era. That starts with that. Always staying active, staying in shape, working on your craft, and never just you feeling like you can take it for granted, like you know it all. Just always feeling like you're growing. There's room for growth, and that's what I think is mainly the key. Just you're not ever feeling like you're done. That there's still more to do, and that there's something that you can still share with the world. Overall, like when you feel like that you've had it, like
Yeah,
you've lost it, or keeping up your vocals, keeping up your being fit so that you can keep up with times and move around and do the things necessary to support what you do. All of those things come into play, man, and really having the right team, being able to, rock with the right people at the right time to make sure that it's seen, it's heard, that everything you're doing is going through the right ears and through the right people to make sure everything is right. Having that on my squad throughout the years has been a big part of what's going on. And the fans, I can't stress enough of just having a fan base that just won't quit, man. They want to see you do more. They want to support what you do. They love being a part of what you do. And I think that at the end of the day, that's what we do it all for. Anytime I go in the studio, anytime I'm trying to pick out the right outfits for a video or want to make sure that the stage show is tight and the sound system is right, that's always being done for the fans.
yeah,
I don't want to let them, you don't want to let them down. You want to give them something that they can feel. So having them right there always pushing me and just lifting me up to feel like, come on, man, keep on coming with it. That's been a big part of why I can continue doing this. And it's a strong base, man, just having a strong family base that I come from that allows me to not get big-headed, ever think too much of my own self, and always just feel like, again, there's room for growth. And then when I go in the
absolutely.
studio, I approach all those things that way, and somehow that's been a good formula for me, at least.
Yeah, yeah. And I think people forget, especially with what you guys do when you perform, how hard it is. I mean, you have
Yeah,
to be fit. You'll
yeah,
probably
man.
lose 5 pounds a night just with those lights on you, and sweat. So
Absolutely,
it's a
man. We watch.
real grind.
It's funny that you said that, man, because throughout and we'll show up and you might have a little belly or you might have a little extra, something on you. But I've watched the whole group over the course of rehearsing, and the first few weeks into a show, I'll see a photo of the before and after, and you notice that there's this look that everybody kind of takes on, and it looks like a group. It
Yeah,
starts looking, like we all coexisting. You can tell we're eating the same way, and we're under the same regimen to kind of stay in shape. So you're right. You have to be in shape. Just the grind itself, to get up and do all the interviews and the different mingling with the people and being at the right spots at the right time, man. You can't be slacking, or it's hard to keep up with it.
and people are going to ask. I kind of saw them ask too. Is there any secrets to that, to keeping in shape for that? You got any home remedy secrets to keep you going?
Honestly, just eating well,
Yeah,
eating properly, not eating a bunch of junk food, staying on my, I've been vegan for the last 4.5 years. I
great.
slide back here and there, eat some things from the past, but I know how to cleanse my body properly
Hmm.
and just constantly staying active, never just sitting around too long where you just let it all go. So for the most part, staying active, doing those routines is tough. I love to dance, so I always dance, and that keeps you. That's an aerobic workout in itself.
Hmm.
If you ever want to keep in shape, just learn some of them new edition routines, man, and I
Oh,
promise
of
you,
course.
you're gonna get fit. You'll see it all start peeling off slowly, and in the right places, you know, where
Mm-hmm.
you keep your muscle, but you lose all that excess stuff. But
Yeah.
if I could attribute it to any one thing, it's definitely eating the right way.
And that's
Hmm.
great to hear in the times that we're dealing with right now too. Because
Yeah,
people
man.
are a lot of people are stuck at home, you know, like, oh, what am I going to
Mm-hmm.
do? So
Mm-hmm.
we'll get to the single now. The single with Johnny Gill. Now you were previously on his last year.
Yeah, perfect.
And you guys flipped it. Was that something you decided then, or just that's the way it worked out?
It just worked out that way, man. We did that song, and that was supposed to be what that was. But they sent the song in actually for Johnny's project.
Okay.
And when they sent the song in, um, Johnny heard the record and said, "Man, it sounds like my brother. It sounded like something. It reminded him of what I would sing." And so he sent the song over to me, and I listened to it, and I immediately fell in love with it. I said, "Okay, this has a vibe to it. It has one of those hooks that kind of sticks with you." And I found myself throughout the next couple of days before I actually went to cut it, just singing the hook. And I'm remembering it over and over again. It was stuck in my head. I said, "Okay, we might have something." So I went over to his house, cut the song, um, did my vocals, and we was there for probably about 4 hours or so. We was in there
Wow.
knocking it out, and then I came back. No, then he sent me the track back with me on it and him with a semi mix, and I said, "Wow, this sounds like you know, this sounds like that combination that I tell people this all the time. Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis introduced us to the fact that me and Johnny's styles work well together.
Mm-hmm.
There's something about how I do my crooning thing, and he has his belt. You know, he's strong, powerful vocal skills that when
Absolutely.
they're done, when they're merged perfectly together the right way on the right songs, they just seem to work, man. And throughout the times, people have kind of songs like um, "Can You Stand the Rain,"
Mm-hmm.
um, Boys to Men. When we did that, our voices just seemed to work together. So we kind of just kept on that tradition. And when we did the Perfect song, we reintroduced that sound back to the public. And so it was just made sense to just come with something that both of us was on, that still kept that going while it's out there and alive, you know. And
Absolutely.
this song is proving the fact that, you know, that those two vocals styles work well together, man.
And always have, like you said. I mean, the chemistry there is
Yeah,
unmatchable.
yeah.
Why don't you think you see? I mean, R&B groups or even duos do what you just did anymore. Even in rap groups, you don't see rap groups anymore. What do you think it
Yeah.
changed?
Wow. I mean, I think one of the big things is that people realized they can make more money by themselves. It became money driven at the end of the day, even from the record company standpoint and the people who's putting the music out. It's about how much can we generate off of it, opposed to being true to just loving music and
Mm-hmm.
wanting to put out good songs and just good vibes, and just good energy, different types of energies and different types of movies. So groups kind of lost their steam in a time point and in a period where people was doing me. You know, I'm gonna go out here and get my own, see how much I can generate and take care of myself, kind of thing. So I think that broke it down a lot, and it was kind of oversaturated, maybe even for a minute, where you just started seeing so many of them,
That is true.
and yeah, it's became so saturated with it that people wanted to see something else. And I think that it'll come back around once people get tired of all that doing me stuff and want to see something different, or it's just a familiar thing that they don't see anymore. I think it'll come back. And it also has to become where you just love it. You have to have a passion for the music and not overthink the money side of it and what you have to save and what you can save by just having one person, or what you can make for yourself by just having one person. I think as that becomes less of a factor into when you're putting out music or when you're going in the studio or when you're trying to come up with a new project or act or whatever it might be, um, it'll come back around, man. Because I feel like, you know, somebody like when we come back, when the new
Mm-hmm.
edition does come back on the scene, it'll definitely lend room for the other artists who have been sitting around not really doing that anymore,
Yeah,
to put their thing back together and get back out there, man.
yeah. Do you now doing music? Do you approach the music differently from something you would do solo to something you would do with the group or Johnny or anybody?
I try to, but it's like my sound is so saturated within the new edition sound and
Mm-hmm.
style, like my vocals, that when I think about trying to go in there and cut a record, it's really hard to be different without sounding like what I've been sounding like throughout the years, you know,
Of
because
course.
all those records just have me all over them. But I do try to approach it in a way where I can reinvent it slightly. I always want to stay true to that because I know people like that vibe. I love that vibe. You know, that's why I started that way.
Yeah.
But overall, my influences, you know, I like Michael Jackson, Smokey Robinson, Marvin Gaye, really the Motown sound in general, mixed with some Evelyn Champagne King and some of all of like the Heat Wave records. The catalog is so deep in terms of what I grew up listening to and loving that I always want to try to see if I can pull off something a record their records gave me the energy out of. When I was feeling it, I want to try to pull off something that made me feel a certain way out of those artists. So I want to return that to the fans that's listening to my music, some sort of way. So, but overall, it's just going in there and doing me, man. You know,
Yeah.
I think I have enough background in music, and my love and passion for it is good enough so that when I go in there, I know what I'm listening for. Musically, if somebody's presenting me a track or something that already has the lyrics, or if I'm going to write my own thing, I always know, you know, all those influences are great influences. So I feel like there was something special will always come out of it if I just stay true to myself and do the music that I love doing.
Absolutely. And you're obviously working on the album as well.
Absolutely, man. I've actually been working on this album almost 2 years, man.
Beautiful thing,
And
though.
what's good about it is I have songs on there that's been addressing exactly what the climate is right now. Even then, it's not something that I feel like I'm jumping on the bandwagon of, you know, or because it's out there now and you got to try to address that. It's something that I felt passionate about for many, many years. But throughout the years of doing New Edition and having a certain image, never felt like I could get to properly without making people feel like, okay, what is he doing? You know, trying to
Yeah.
go to the Make Me Wanna Hollers or the Inner City Blues or whatever. But I, over the last couple of years, have put together some real cool stuff with my man Jason Anderson. I call him Digi, and we've been working on stuff from traditional Ralph Tresvant, traditional New Edition styles to again those influences, those Make Me Wanna Hollers, those Mercy Mercy Me's, some of that Stevie Wonder vibe that I grew
Yeah.
up on. Yeah, trying to make sure I incorporate stuff that when people feel it, they understand that I understand the culture and that I want to be a part of the voice for that culture and making sure that I can speak for people that can't speak for themselves through my music and through my platform and reach. So that's a big part of this next project as well. So when it comes out, you can expect a lot of that, man. You
And
know.
that's good. I mean, because, growing up with your guys' music, even into hip hop, there was a message out there, and it was important for us to hear our favorite artists.
Hmm.
We felt like we knew them.
That's
And
right.
and so when the music would come out, it's like, okay, everything's gonna be, it's gonna be okay. Like I just heard it from the big homie. It's gonna be okay because you guys are
Right.
still the voice of the people. I mean, you really are.
Nice, nice. Yeah, you're absolutely right, man. We looked forward to hearing some of that stuff where they was addressing things. That's what hip hop was.
Hmm.
It was an expression of what we was going through and feeling that we had never heard on the radio at that point.
Hmm.
It wasn't coming out that way. When we first started hearing records like "Don't Push Me" because I'm close to the edge, it was like, wow, we're hearing, we're getting a reflection of what I walk through every day on the radio and on TV now, man. And it's good to see that people are expressing that and being able to get a vibe of where we're coming from and feel some of the pain that we're coming from, and hopefully that would help adjust some of the change that needed to happen. You know, that's what hip hop was all about. A lot of people I talk to don't even know what hip hop stands for: to know and then to move. You know, to be hip is to know, and to hop is to move on what you just learned. So at the end of the day, that's what that movement was all about. And again, all the music was about that at one point, from James Brown, where he was coming from, with Say It Loud and Black and I'm Proud and all these different versions of just trying to make people feel better about who they was and express where we come from and let people see, listen, we're human too, man, and
Yeah.
we don't like feeling or going through what we're going through. Y'all are part of helping this all change. So again, that's the blessing of having music out there. It's the soundtrack of our life when it's done right. It's a soundtrack of everyone's life.
Yeah.
And the best music always seems to express something that even though you didn't say that, that's something you're going through and you felt or wish or would have said had you had the platform to be able to get out there and say
Of
it. So
course, of course.
yeah, it's a good look.
Yeah, and and like I said, it's important because for some people all they have is music, and
Right.
it's like they live or die. Now it has become a little oversaturated, now, but music's also easier to release. I mean, you can go in your bedroom and drop a single and
Right.
upload it and this and that. So that's
That's
just
right.
going to come with the game.
That's
Um,
right.
what would you say to kind of up and coming artists? Because you guys set a blueprint literally on how to do it and be successful. And now 40 years later, here we are, 2020 with another successful single that's charting. What would be some plain advice you would give upcoming artists with everything that's out there?
Honestly, it's a tougher game than it used to be in terms of impressing people. Just like you said, it's so saturated now. There's so many different vibes and styles and variations of music and artists that's out there now that it's a lot harder to try to it's harder to impress an audience these days. But I would say practice, practice, practice. Really don't take your own advice. I mean, in terms of feeling like you got what it takes or that this record is a hit. Always run it by people and make sure that you get it into some ears that are very biased so that you can get an honest opinion about where you stand. And I always say to people that, if you can impress your family, your brother, your sister, your mom, your uncles and them, if they can hear you and see you do what you do and go, wow, that's my brother. Wow, that's
Yeah,
my
yeah, yeah.
nephew. The rest of the world is pretty much a given that somebody out there is gonna enjoy what you're doing, and that's kind of my approach on it. I was talking to my cousin Aaron the other day on he was on Facebook talking to each other, and I was letting him know that when I hit on stage, this has been one of my secrets to performing on stage. It's been I really don't look at the audience too much. I notice them, I see them there, but where I'm at is in my living room as a little boy, in Orchard Park with my grandmother, my mother, my father, my uncle saying, do that song for me, Poop, do that dance for me, man, and sitting around, getting $1 or a quarter, whatever it was they was gonna give me so I can run out afterwards and go buy something from the store. But that's who I see. Every time I go on stage, I'm in my own head trying to impress them. Because my take on it is if I can make them smile, if I can make them go, oh, that's my nephew right there, baby. That's my cousin, man, doing that thing, then I know I'm doing it. I'm pleasing who I wanted to please. And usually the audience, I mean, not usually, it's been the track record has been every time I hit that stage, they know what I'm going to bring. I'm going to bring some heat. And that's been because I'm trying to impress the people in that little living room back in the days that had nothing to, they had nothing to lose by telling me, oh, man, it's cool, or just, appeasing me. If I can impress them, I know I can impress an audience. So I see that little room. It keeps you from being stage fright. It keeps you from overthinking how big the moment is, whether you're on the American Music Awards or whether you're in a little club somewhere. It's the same frame of mind. I go into my head and I picture all my family around the family gatherings asking me to dance or sing for them, and that's what's gotten me through all these years.
A lot of people I grew up doing music with, they always told me if your hardest sell, if you will, is going to be your hometown. And
Absolutely.
if you get past that, you're going to go to, I'm out here in Cali, but when if
Mm-hmm.
you sell your hometown, you're going to go to Arizona and Utah, New Mexico, and you're going to do just fine when you hit the road. But
Absolutely. You're absolutely right with that, man. If you can press the hometown, you can press the home front, you can make a fan out of your family and people you grew up with every day, and they looking at you slowly different, like, whoa, he's really doing something, you
yeah,
can
yeah,
see the difference in him. If you can do that, yeah, the rest of the world is yours, baby.
absolutely.
Hmm.
So we got the album. What else do we got going 2020? And I know a lot of things probably got condensed with everything going on.
Yeah.
But what else you got planned for the people for 2020?
Well, I'm not playing with it, man. I'm still working on my radio show, Inside the Ride. Me and Johnny just finished doing the video right out here in my homes, right out there where I live at. I ain't going to give the location because it's
Yeah.
real, though. But but it's real, man. We just finished. We're editing that. We was on the phone on Zoom yesterday with the editors from 1 o'clock in the afternoon till 11 o'clock at night, just getting this stuff right, getting the right shots, putting everything together so that we can have the right visuals to go along with the song. The song All Mine is out there. Like I
Out
said, it's
everywhere.
charting out everywhere, man, and hitting them hard so far, you know. And we just want to keep that going. Like you said, there's a lot of things that we just got to kind of take our time on because the times are different. Can't go perform, can't go shake hands and rock with the people like that. So, you know, and I'm used to that formula. You know, I'm used to getting up when you put a project out, hitting the road, getting on a tour bus, hitting the radio stations
Yeah.
and TV shows from city to city, just rocking hard. But, you know, overall, just plan on supporting this project right now. That's where it's at. I'm trying to get this together so that I can make it as big as I can possibly make it. You know, make this search into something that's permanent, and it's not something that they take as well. He just had one lucky, you know, one lucky strike at it, you know, one lucky blow. But no, just consistently keep on coming with things. Finish the album up, so by the time this reaches its peak and everybody is reintroduced to the voice and me being back out there, I can hit them with the rest of the project. And so that's really the focus right now. Between that and just laying low and staying my normal self, trying to balance between being an entertainer and just having my regular life, doing regular things, man. You know, that's me. That's what I'm trying to do right now.
That's what's up. Did it change? I mean, I know that the COVID's been horrible and people that are affected by it, so I'm not trying to discount any of that. But
Hmm.
did this slowing down process with kind of the quarantine and everything actually help you focus more on the album?
I think I've been focused on it. I think what happened when this all happened is it helped everybody else be able to focus on it. With everybody being at home
Hmm.
and these social media platforms is pretty much all we got right now to interact with each other. It's allowed what I'm doing to kind of be seen a lot quicker, a lot faster. Um, but outside of that, I've been thinking about this next run. I've been
Yeah.
trying to plan it. I've been, yeah, behind the scenes working on it hard to how am I going to research surface? Like, what's going to be the best plan of attack? How do I do this? But with all the COVID going down, everybody being locked down, it does put a sense of how to reach people, um, you know, massive people, in
Yeah.
a lot easier way than going from city to city. So it did change the formula of how I was going to release everything and get it out there. I still felt like it was going to be a slow creep, you know, something that took its time, but when I'm looking at it in 24 hours with 6 on iTunes,
Yeah.
with
Yeah. I mean, that's
number number
incredible.
one at Amazon Prime, and all it's been phenomenal. And I don't think that would have happened if I was city to city in them. But again, I haven't released any real music out by
Yeah.
myself in this time period where social media is pretty much how you do it. The social platforms is how you doing. So this might just be what it is right now, you know, and maybe like this for a long time. So I'm just looking forward to continuing the movement. It feels like already it's been a success, whether we do anything else major or not. You know, I just feel like having myself out there, I already won, man. You know, I'm up and rocking by myself again, and looking forward to one day when we all rock together
Yeah.
as New Edition, of course, but really sinking my teeth into being a solo artist this time more than ever before. This is really important to me.
And you know, honestly, if New Edition was doing something right now, you guys couldn't even tour. So there's really
Right.
nothing you could do. I mean, you could do
Exactly.
music, but I mean, you guys are about being for the people. You know.
That's New Edition's MO.
Yeah.
Rocking, being in front of you, performing the songs. Yeah, so it would be hard for us to really make the type of moves that we would normally make as a group. So it's cool right now until some things move around or change around. And even if it doesn't, we'll find a way as a group to make it happen in the way times are right now. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
everything falls into place. I tell you,
Absolutely.
I'll tell you one thing. I've lived in Los Angeles all my life,
Hmm.
and I somewhat did enjoy how everything slowed down for a little bit.
Did you?
I mean, hey, there was no traffic, there was no smog. I mean, everybody was like being nice to each other at one point. It was a
Yeah,
crazy
man.
vibe for LA.
Yeah, man. Well, you know, I'm out here in Cali as well,
Yeah,
you know, so I understand exactly what you talk about. Hey, Cali's fast paced, and
all the time.
to see it change the way it changed, it was a big thing, but it's a good thing, I think, at the same time. Everybody's reflecting differently, everybody's understanding themselves and other people differently, and just get a chance to see more of instead of being in the groove of the wax, we're able to stand outside of it for a minute and look at the whole record player, you know? It's different than when you have to be in the middle of the hustle and bustle every day. Right now, we've got a chance to really absorb the world and what's really going on out here, and feel with and get a sense of what you should do to help, I guess, the change that needs to happen out here, man, so that we don't have to, we get closer to each other. It's long overdue, and we need this closeness. It's one of the other things that was good about music. Music always crossed all kind of genres and bridged all kind of gaps that you don't really see happening with the actual people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The music does that, but the music didn't do that. I know people that play the whole sing along to, I mean, people out in the suburbs of where I grew from that never walked through my hood, or you wouldn't know about Marvin Gaye or Al Green and all that, but I watched them sing their whole record, World for Since We've Been Together, and rock and sing the whole song. And I'm like, see, well, why isn't that really happening?
Yeah.
You know, how is that not reflecting the merge of the people, where we all are moving like that in real life, not just on records? But I think that that's what we're having a chance to reflect on right now and see that that's what's going on. And people are speaking. People are making sure that that's being known this time around. This generation, I think, is going to change a lot of things. Man.
It is. And I was having an interesting conversation with Money B from Digital Underground yesterday.
Nice.
And we were just talking about the same type of thing we're talking about. And one thing that I brought up, our generation of music, and especially when hip hop and, you know, R&B and everything started, we listened to all sorts of music. In fact, hip hop was originally, you know, a lot of samples. So when people heard the song, they loved the hip hop because that was already one of their favorite songs before it was sampled into hip hop. So it had this familiarness to it that you're like, oh my, that's my song right there. You know, regardless of how they flipped it. This generation has only grown up to really hearing hip hop, you know, or what's new.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right, man.
So
they only know this era. They only know the hip hop era, really. Yeah.
And so they're it's not even their fault, really. There's not disconnection. They're listening to what's hot, you know. And so, you know, it's interesting though, the dynamic, because like you said earlier, everything goes in a circle. You know, it definitely does. I mean, and you just proved it. You dropped a single in 2020, and it's charting up the charts with everybody that's new. You know what I'm saying? So
nice. That's right, man. And changed not much, you know. Still doing the same thing I've been doing. Kept in the same register and the lane I've been in. Added some of these more common, the production style of it. We made sure that we did some things that they're doing now so that it could feel a little bit more current. But overall, it's a love record, man. And love records right now are not being made. You know?
Oh, not at all.
And so that's what shocked me, because I can't speak about too much else except for love. Well, all my career has been based on singing about love, you know, if it is in love, lost in love, falling out of love. Do What I Gotta Do is a song about breaking up, you know, and falling out of love. So all these things has been something that I've always sang about. And it was kind of scary when you in the studio trying to work on a track or work on something that this is your passion. This is what you love to sing about, but it's not the end thing no more, you know?
Yeah.
And it's also a big part of what's missing in the culture, and all cultures, because that music used to saturate our neighborhoods. That love vibe used to saturate where we come from and where we grew up. So when I came up, I had no choice but to understand what love was, and falling in love and finding that right girl one day, and hoping that you can duplicate what you saw your uncles and aunts and them living like, you know, whatever your mom and dad expressing. And so at the end of the day, I feel like this record being accepted is showing a lot of things. It's showing that people miss that. There's a void in talking about that and feeling those kind of vibes and that energy that this record seems to be giving off. And, you know, I just thank Johnny that he didn't take this one. He gave it up. You know what I'm saying?
Well, no, I mean, but you brought up love, and the thing is love is such a real emotion that everybody feels. So, you know, and just like you said earlier, you know, I'm doing what I'm doing, but I'm also a real person. Like I live real life. Well, love is a huge part of real life for everybody.
Yeah.
So
man.
when you know, doesn't matter what genre of music you listen to, when you talk about love, you know, what did they say? Love is always the universal language.
That's right, man.
So,
that's right. That's right. That's how I feel about it too. To be able to have that, to not have that, you're lacking something that's extremely necessary to be on this planet, to be a human, and to be able to, you know, just
Hmm.
live properly. There's something without that that you're not going to be able to be the person that you really want to be. Everybody wants to be loved. Everybody wants to
Of
feel
course.
love. Everybody wants to feel that, and it's like there was so much time where the industry was reflecting like it's not cool to talk about that. It's not cool to express that. It's not the end thing to address that topic. You got Snoop out there, as big as he is, as much as I love him, man. He was reflecting what was going on in the hood when he was like, "We don't love them hoes," and
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
so now you got a whole generation that's coming up under that vibration. Like, man, it's hard or to talk about it without being uncool or
Yeah.
without being, soft or whatever it might be. And I'm trying to let them know, man, there ain't nothing soft in talking about love and wanting to be loved and wanting to express love. Because, I just think about all of the people out here that I grew up around, and without that love I got from them, I don't know what I would have been. I don't know how I would have turned out as a person. So I'm going to keep on expressing that until it's cool again to be able to express it, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And did you always know? I mean, I know you just talked about, you're performing in your living room and stuff, but did you always know this is what you wanted to do?
Not really. As a youngster, I never dreamed of being a singer
Mm.
or being out there on music. I just loved hearing it. I was one of those guys, and I think I said this story before, where I just thought that you had to be born on the other side of the speakers.
Yeah.
You couldn't be where I was, and then one day be coming through the speakers. That's why it was so amazing the first time I heard Candy Girl on the radio, and I remember the process and all that in the studio with Marvy Starr and the fellas, but being at home and then listening to me come through the other side of the speakers was just dynamic to me. It was this humongous thing. Music was bigger than life. People who were on the other side of that speaker was just from another planet to
Yeah.
me. They wasn't where I was at. But as it went on, you know, that's how I was able to understand it better and process the whole stuff. But that's how big music was for me. So I never even thought of being on that side of the speaker
Interesting.
until I started hanging with the boys. I started hanging with, Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, and Mike,
Yeah.
and Johnny after a while. We started hanging with those guys, and it was like, yeah, man, let's make a record. We're going to be on whatever it might be. We're going to be on Soul Train one day or American Bandstand. I was like, really? Y'all really? And those visions never hit my head until I was around those guys, man. I was just regular old Ralph around the way doing this karate and going to school. I was a
Yeah, yeah.
straight A student type of cat, and kind of nerdy, still kind of nerdy to in its own right, and a self-proclaimed, and I love it. I
I
love
like to
being
call it
around.
I like to call it artistic, instead of the you know what I mean, not nerdy,
Yeah,
artistic.
man, yeah. I'm gonna flip it with you, man. I think I'm gonna start calling it that from now on.
Yeah,
Artistic, being artistic and creative, man.
yeah,
That's what I was. I was on that side of things, but overall, I wasn't that cool cat in the bricks.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I ended up around some cool cats, and I learned a lot from them about me and my family was cool. I had a lot of people in my family that was that, and so I had it already there, but I wasn't expressing that. I just wasn't coming from that. I had my own originality, and I was coming up in my own world, the same way I am now, in my own head. What I was, I didn't try to be like somebody else per se, that I saw around it that was cool. I always enjoyed it and loved that, but I wasn't that, you
Yeah.
know. So as I got more into the music, more into what you're going to have to express about yourself to have a career, to be out there and impress people in videos and on stage, and just the swag, for lack of a better word, the swag that captures people. I turned it on. I started turning it on and got better and better as the years went on.
Absolutely. Did had
Hmm.
the transition from kind of analog to digital? How did you transition with that? Were you able? Did you just glide around along with it?
Yeah, I just flowed with the times, man. You see things moving. I think there was a difference between when the high fidelity stuff and all of the digital stuff started jumping in. It was a quality about getting that first CD and hearing the difference from that to the cassette.
Yeah.
It was amazing to hear. You're like, wow. And the surround sound stuff as it came into play, opposed to stereo and mono, all of that stuff. I just gravitated throughout the years, man. Again, I was born in an era where my parents and them still played the 8-track
course.
cassettes and stuff like that. So I was able to appreciate that when it went to the smaller cassettes, to when it went to the CDs and DATs and stuff like that. I just been growing with the game, man. The same way that I've grown as an artist with the game. Musically, I adapted and grew with
For
that
sure.
as well, man.
Music was engineered so crazy back then, though. Oh my
Yeah.
God! Like, you know, I always say on the show too, like to be a fly on the wall on some of these, you know, Stevie Wonder sessions, or I mean, just these Motown sessions or anything. It's just, you know, no
Yeah.
computers, nothing digital, all hardware. You know,
One take.
yeah,
You had to go
real
through with
time
the
engineering. You know,
real time engine. Yeah, it was a whole nother level, man. You know, and hey, thank God that we don't have to do it like that quite anymore.
I
But at
agree
the
with you.
same, but at the same time, that is where you that was grooming pure artists,
For
pure
sure.
artistry, pure creative. You had to be able to sing. You had to be able to produce.
Hmm.
You had to be able to engineer. And like you say, on the fly, you went through a song and you did 30 or 40 takes or however many it takes, and you looked and picked the best one out of that. Almost like a live performance, but
Yeah.
these ended up on wax, you know, or not even almost, like it was a live performance, um, but on
Track.
wax. So
Yeah.
yeah, so at the end of the day, that's a real analogy. I like that you brought that up because that's where it started, man. And that sound, the warmth of analog, I do miss. I do miss the warmth of that when I go back and I hear an old record, especially on a record player with the needle scratching
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you know, you hear all that sound. There's something about that when you come from it that just brings back all kinds of memories and nostalgicness to it. That it touches you when you feel it from that perspective,
So
man.
I've bought every module that you can think of for analog through the Waves Universal Audios. And here I'm gonna be artistic real quick and not nerdy, you know me. But just this
Feel
week
you?
I got something from Waves that's actually a vinyl emulator, but for the output. So I'm
Ah,
really curious because I've tried, you know, the analog sound. Even with new music, I try to get just a warm, clean sound no matter what.
right.
So
So this feels like it's going to. You haven't tried it yet.
I have not tried it. I got to mix tonight. You know, I had the legend himself on my show tonight, so I ain't been able to.
Hey, listen, man. When you do that, I'd love to hear what you can. I'd love to hear your perspective on it because if it's
Definitely.
working, I got to go get one, man.
Yeah,
Because that's
definitely.
it's nothing like doing like especially a ballad, man,
Yeah,
and having it come through with that warmth and that in your face vibe that those mixes used to have. Yeah, I would
yeah.
love to see if I could incorporate some of that into this new project.
I will definitely let you know. I'll definitely let you know.
Cool.
And by the way, your fans are going crazy on here.
I see him on there.
You
I
got a
see the Riz Riders.
squad of
Riders,
Riz Riders.
mount up.
Man,
They don't play, man. They don't play. They swarm harder than the beehive, man. I'm
yeah.
telling you.
That's I
They
mean
the real deal.
it. You know, again being in 2020, that's just got to feel great.
It's amazing. They're the reasons why I do this, and to see them still there, appreciating it and being a part of it and propelling me to all these different levels of heights and success, man. It just warms my heart. I love them so much. All the female Riz Riders, those was my babies, man. And they know it. I call them that at all times whenever I can. They make me who I am. Ubuntu loved ones, y'all know how we do it. I am because we are.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's refreshing to see because you have a feel good single that's out. All your
Yeah.
fans on here are feeling great. You look like you're feeling great. I mean, this is what literally this show is about, the positivity. You know, we've had a lot of guests on, and you'll see some in the comments say, "Yo, what about this beef?" or "What about the?" And you're just like, "Man, we on here." You
We
know,
don't need to hear about that right
no,
now.
no,
Exactly. I looked at all your photos and some of your posts and stuff before I went on, and I like how you get down, man. I really
appreciate it,
do.
man. I really appreciate it.
Keep doing your thing, man. You're doing it.
Absolutely. And when
Yep.
all this is over, I can't wait to run into you and you know definitely
Yeah.
see you live and you know again
Nice.
we're just so blessed to have you on our airways. Before we let you go, anything
Hmm.
you want to tell the fans? Anything I missed out? Anything that left unsaid that
Man,
we need to cover?
man, we hit it all. Just get ready for the video. That's on there. Keep pumping them up out there. Y'all's impact is being felt heavily. You know, it's not being overlooked. You guys are making all the difference in the world. And I love y'all. I love y'all for you know, just being here since day one. Y'all already know Riz Riders. There ain't no riders like the Riz Riders, man. And I'm going to ride and die for y'all just how y'all do for me. I'm going to keep coming with it. You know, I love y'all, man. And, hey, and I thank you again for having me on your show,
Man,
man. Let me use the platform.
man, I cannot thank you enough. Shout out my dude Todd Davis
Todd
because
Davis, that's right.
yeah,
Todd,
I
we
mean,
did
because we
this,
were
man. Hey, Todd been coming at me for a minute. I kept saying, Todd, I'm gonna get it, man. I'm gonna get it, bro. Just let me get this thing where I need it to go so that when I start to run, you know, I can consistently keep moving. I don't want to start it and start doing stuff like that, then got to start, have no
yeah,
music out,
yeah,
nothing
yeah,
to
yeah.
support it. So let me get a second. So he finally came at me, and it was right, man. This was the time when we was waiting for it, Todd, and I appreciate you for staying there, man, and being patient with me, bro, as I was trying to get it all together, man. I appreciate it, fam.
Absolutely. And again, we're here for whatever you need. You know, thank you so much for taking the time. We get closer to the album, we'll have you back on, talk about that.
Absolutely.
Everyone get the
Yes.
single. It's out everywhere.
Yes.
Everywhere. It's hot. Video coming soon. Oh, someone did ask when do you think the video's coming?
Man, it's probably, you know, we're editing it now.
Okay.
I saw a rough cut that me and Johnny got on the phone, like I said, from 1 o'clock yesterday afternoon to 2 in the morning with the editors and some of the producers, and been trying to get it right. So right now we got what we think are all the shots. They're doing the little effects and the different things and rendering and all that. You know what it takes to really get it where it's clean, the colorization and all that, right? So I think probably by the next look, we'll get one more look after they do that, and if it's right, we'll be ready to drop it. So
Excellent.
as soon as it's ready, that can't be, you know, that can't be a week away or maybe even less, depending on how this next edit comes back to us when we see this next
Dope.
clip or version of it. So as soon as it's ready, you know, I'm gonna tell y'all before it drops. The Riz Riders always see everything first.
Oh
So
yeah. Oh yeah.
yeah, I'll make sure that they get a nice sneak peek or the first
Squad.
copy of it. Yes, indeed. Yes,
Squad.
indeed. Mount up.
Salute to you, my friend. Take care of you and your family. Again, you know, we're here for whatever you need. Congratulations on the single.
Thank you.
And I know this is just the beginning. You know what I'm saying? So
Thank you, my
definitely.
friend. I appreciate it. And anytime, man, you let me know. I'm out here. If you
And I'm
need
gonna
me
let
for
you know. I'm gonna
whatever,
let you know about that plugin too, because I'm gonna be working with it
I
tonight.
need to I need to know about that, man.
I
That
got you.
sounds like something. If it's working, let me know.
Cool. I
Thanks,
got
my
you.
friend.
Appreciate it.
All
Take
right.
care.
All right, y'all. All right, Midas. I see y'all soon, man.
The legend himself in the house. All the warriors out there, you see the behind me. We salute What's the Word podcast. That was amazing. People have been asking too earlier in there. If people are looking for the shirts, go on the Instagram to Block Boy Clothing. Order what you need. You know what I'm saying? Shout out my dude Money B. I'll see you. Shout out everybody. The Riz Riders, y'all are crazy in a good way. I mean, I literally love seeing the support of what you guys did for Ralph, and we'll definitely have him back on. Man, I had a blast. We will see you guys next Saturday, and I appreciate people tuning in on Monday too, because usually our shows are on Saturday, but I left the holiday be. So, you know, we'll definitely be here next Saturday. We got Lazy Bone on next Saturday, and another guest to be, you know, to be announced. You can follow the show, What's the Word Podcast.com, What's the Word Podcast on YouTube. This will be uploaded later tonight so that you can see the replay. Again, I appreciate everybody tuning in. We'll see you next week. I got a new fan base too. The Riz Riders, I'm your guys' fan, seeing what you did. So you know what I mean? Salute to the Riz Riders. That was just, yeah, you guys definitely ride for Ralph, and I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody tuning in. We'll see everybody next week. Peace.